All right, everyone, welcome to the Jets and Giants show. My name is Gabe. I'm flying solo today, and we're here to talk about a little bit about that first episode of the New York Giants Hard Knocks, the offseason. Before we get into it, thank you for joining us. I hope you guys take the time to like, rate, share, and subscribe. It's a holiday weekend. It's the day after July 4th. I hope everyone had a really safe, really awesome July 4th. Tried to record a little bit yesterday, had some technical difficulties aside from like all the fireworks that were going off and all that stuff. And the boys are also all on vacation. But as your resident Giants fan, I'm here to kind of bring you my thoughts. And as we go along throughout the weeks, I'm gonna try to do the same every week. But without further ado, yeah, let's get right into it. So this week was the debut of the HBO Hard Knocks. I think it's the very first time that we do the off season with any team, and it's the off season with the New York Giants. And it's something that's kind of important about that is the fact that the this I think the hottest topic surrounding New York football, aside from Zach Wilson, Aaron Rodgers, and all that drama, has been what's going on with the Giants the offseason. Saquon Barkley, the whole nine. You guys have all heard it from us over here throughout the last season of the show, and. I gotta say, for I might be a little bit biased, but I've been a believer of Joe Shane and Dable since they came in, and this first episode has really kind of, at least first impressions go, has really kind of given me a little bit more of a vote of confidence in Shane. The episode did a really good job, I think, of showing Shane's roots, Shane's personality and stuff. He really seems like just one of the guys, to be honest with you. He seems like your local neighborhood Pee Wee Football League kind of guy a little bit. At least that's what I got from it. I liked how they kind of went into all the success that he's already had, how he essentially wasn't gifted this job. He went all the way from uh like a scout assistant to then head scout to then assistant GM and then now GM, and all the success that he's had all along the way. He was part of that Panthers team that faced Tom Brady in the Super Bowl. He was obviously did great things with the Bills, drafting Josh Allen and then developing him and stuff. um so it kind of reinforces where I feel Joe Shane, Dable, and the Giants are, that there is proven success, proven track record between these guys. And I have a lot of confidence in them after just this one episode. Um, and the reason I have a lot of that confidence does come from the machinations of the front office, how they treated everything, from dissecting their needs and wants, and driving that point home of it's about the franchise, not about the job. Joe Shane understanding that that it's not about making the moves that necessarily make him, or rather like keep his job intact, but it's more about like what's going to be best for the franchise moving forward. And we'll get into the Saquon Barkley stuff in a little bit. I like how they kind of went about their um defensive coordinator hire in Shane, and getting everyone involved. I got to know a little bit about their head scout, about I don't have the names off the top of my head right now, the assistant GM and stuff. um it's kind of cool to get a little bit of a picture of what it's like to be in the back office there, and to see all these interactions, to see Joe Shane just talking like a regular dude, and also to kind of confirm what we were hearing in rumors and reports. Obviously rumors can sometimes get a little bit out of hand, and we always want to take them with a grain of salt, but it does tell us that they are kind of being transparent with any reportings that are out there. A lot of the reportings during the combine and pre-draft and all that stuff could have been kind of hearsay. um but it does seem to be kind of confirm everything that we were hearing that were coming out as rumors and stuff. that they did believe that, or that Joe Shane does believe that Daniel Jones is still their guy. In this episode, he did kind of reinforce that. Whether it's just by logic or by feeling, I think Joe Shane was kind of going a little bit by both. Where they decided, he said that like we're gonna give it's gonna take a couple years. We're gonna give him a couple years. We promised him that, and obviously the amount of money that they're paying him, they have to give him a few years. And he's right, like the not being able to defend Jones it's part of the debacle that happened last season was on Jones, but a good portion of that is on the job that they didn't do, which is protecting him. And he made a comment that doesn't matter who you put behind there, Patrick Mahomes or whoever, with the O line that we had, with the lack of protection that we had, nobody would have had success. And it's just unfortunate that that lack of success from DJ, because of the holes in the O line and the lack of protection, led to the injuries that he sustained last season. But then at the same time, Joe Shane also did not, shy away from the fact that the reality is that, Daniel Jones has had three major injuries in 3 seasons, and he does kind of have to insulate himself a little bit of that. And he made that known in the episode. He's kind of, it's like, hey, I got Jones back, I got DJ's back and stuff, but I'm not gonna not look for a safety net. So he does have it in the back of his head that he has to think, long term again for the franchise. So after this first episode, I fully go into it, into this first season already knowing that this isn't just a prove it year for DJ. It's going to be a deciding year for the Giants, because if DJ proves himself, they still need to make a decision on whether is this still the guy for the next 10 years, or do they have to go elsewhere. I don't necessarily know. I don't have any indicators, even just off that first episode, or I don't know if we're gonna have any indicators off of the this whole Hard Knock season at all. If there's an inkling towards moving away from DJ or keeping him, it's really going to be dependent on the outcome of this season. Now, going back to the big elephant that was in the room, we already know Saquon Barkley made his decision and went to the Phillies. Um, it's gonna be interesting how this plays out on Hard Knocks, to be honest with you. But, we already see that Joe Shane was kind of trying to do everything that made sense. He even, and it's funny because I had mentioned to the guys, to Walt and Jose, that, just in the first few minutes when they were kind of recapping Joe Shane's tenure, how he got to where he was, they had the clip of him addressing the press for the first time as the general manager of the Giants. And he looked so young, and consider that was only 3 years ago. But he looked so young, and in 3 years, it's like this Giants organization has already aged him. You can see more wrinkle, you can see, a little bit more age on his face and stuff, and even in his hair and stuff. Um, not too unlike Obama in his first term. He comes out, when Obama ran for president, you know, he looked relatively young, not a speck of gray hair, and then by the second campaign, he was pretty much fully grayed out with wrinkles all over. So, and he made, anyway, going back to Joe Shane, he made that comment in the episode where the whole negotiation the previous year with Saquon Barkley, where they spent basically a whole year trying to get a deal done, took years off his life. He made that comment. I believe it. We can see it. And so he was kind of operating on the whole Saquon deal on between fairness to Saquon and what's right for the franchise. They gambled, of course. They let him test free agency. I believe they, told him as much, or are going to tell him as much. I think we only saw a preview clip of that conversation, but we didn't see it in this first episode. Um, but uh but we know that Joe Shane is going to talk to Barkley, or did talk to Barkley rather, right? Because all this is after the fact. Spoke to Barkley and told him, hey, we're gonna let you test out free agency, and all that we ask is that you come back and give us a shot at trying to match it and see if they can make it work, you know? Um I don't know if that happened. It sounds, if I'm not mistaken, Barkley did not come back to the Giants, but I would love to see the reaction of Joe Shane when the news came out that he got a deal with the Eagles, and whether there was a conversation at all between Barkley and the Giants about trying to match, and how that turns out. Um, but again, it's I like the fact that I'm looking at a GM. Again, this is just the first episode, but I like the fact that I'm looking at a GM that is not um, making decisions based off emotion. He seems like a very logical person, someone trying to play chess. And I'm also reminded that, while the football players are, essentially working for 6 months out of the year. Joe Shane's working 365 days out of the year. As soon as the season ends, the off season starts, and that's Joe Shane's bread and butter. And I like to see that. I like the fact that I see somebody that's invigorated to make this franchise better for the future. So, um, that's going to be it for now. Again, I'm going to try to come back to you guys after each episode, give you guys my quick thoughts, keep these little episodes nice and short, and then at the end of the Hard Knock season, the whole crew will come back and we'll kind of gather together and give our general thoughts on the entire season. So thank you guys for watching. Make sure you like, rate, share, subscribe, as always, and until next time, go Giants, go Jets.